Let's explore how the lumbar spine enjoys movement in the downswing. So in essence, what the lumbar spine enjoys is the stack without the tilt. One way we can really establish this is to look at when the pelvis produces 0 degrees rotation in the downswing, what is then the lateral flexion, the side bend of that pelvis at that point in time. So then really ensure those lumbar vertebrae, L1 to L5, are stacked vertically without the tilt. So really a nice way of exploring this once again is when we start to rotate in downswing, when we produce that 0 degrees rotation in the pelvis, we then look for the corresponding 0 value in that lateral flexion, the side bend. So in essence, the side bend is 0 at the same point in time that the pelvis produces 0 rotation. So using this example on screen here, as we move this player downwards, you'll see, as shown by those circles on the screen, we have the rotation of the pelvis, 50 degrees rotated, and that lateral side bend of kind of 9 degrees trail side up. As we move this player downwards, they produce 0 rotation in the pelvis at the exact same point in time as they produce 0 bend then in that side bend, the lateral definition. So what we then have is stacking of the joints, those lumbar vertebrae, without the tilting of those lumbar vertebrae. Then really allow that spine to best absorb those forces that then move up through the pelvis, lumbar spine, and subsequently up through then other areas of the system. However, when it can get slightly problematic, using an example here, we then have, again, as shown by those circle on screen, as the player moves downwards, when they produce their 0 rotation value, we can see quite evidently how that trail side is still elevated. It's up, it's still in lateral flexion. So in this case, we then have the definition of we have stacking with tilting, which the lumbar spine simply will not enjoy for multiple reasons. So really a nice way of exploring how do we ensure how well that lumbar spine and pelvis move in swing. In essence, is how do we produce the stack without the tilt when the pelvis is at 0 degrees rotation and down. So one reference we can use, one marker we can use is to can we actively encourage when we get to 0 rotation, we also have 0 degrees of lateral flexion with side bend.